that I know exactly where the students are, they know exactly where they are, and we can kind of solidify our expectations of what we should see. So what I came up with was this idea of replaceable quick quizzes. I think I read about it in an article for class, but I decided, you know what, I'm really upset with how poorly this test just went, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a shot. So, how did it start? Yeah, this is I downloaded it off Google Drive. Apparently did not take the animations with it, but that's okay. So basically what it was is that my students, we do a new topic, right? They would go home that night. I would give them an assignment with answers. I wasn't going to check it. And I'd tell them, you either go home a master of this material or you come back tomorrow with specific questions about how to get better. So you have the answers. You can tell if you're wrong. You know your process. That's on you. Tomorrow, at the very beginning of class, after you ask your questions, you'll take a quick quiz. Now, these quick quizzes were like a maximum of 5 questions long, and they had the different ways that they could see the material from the day before. They were not meant to expand their learning into open-endedness and things like that. It was meant to be, can you do the basic things that I wanted you to be able to do by the end of the lesson yesterday? So they'd come to class, we'd ask questions from the homework, they'd take the quizzes, and then I would get them, and at night I would grade them. So they were meant to be easy to grade, and I give them lots of feedback. That was the key, is that I gave them feedback. So wherever they were, I helped them to move forward from there. But there's just something about calling it a quiz, you know, it kind of freaked them out. So my math 8 students suddenly started paying attention in class, and that was kind of cool. But the key is that they're replaceable, right? So they take these quizzes, and no, they didn't understand it the first time. I give them lots of feedback. They use that feedback, and however they do on their test, there will be corresponding sections of the test that correspond with each individual quick quiz. And I'll show you on a spreadsheet just like what I'm talking about. If they do better on that section of the test, it'll replace the original quiz grade. So then a majority of their grade, it's like a mastery grading kind of thing, kind of fits in with what we've been talking about today as far as grading goes, would be made up of the different topics that are covered on each quiz. So this is just an example of a translations one I gave to my Math 8 students. So just real fast, 3 questions. I got a lot of kids circling like A and D, things like that. And so one part of my feedback was, you should try reading the question, because this is not multiple choice. So, yeah, because that's about the pre-image of the shape, and they're supposed to find the new coordinates. But, you know, that was a good learning opportunity for them to realize that it was not a multiple choice question. But basically, they take this quiz, 5 questions. They got to B that they started to expect the quick quiz every day. And so if I forgot to give them homework, they'd be like, Miss Samuel, where's our practice? I was like, oh, sorry. Use your textbook. I guess I forgot. But so I came up with these, and what I would do is after they'd take them, I put it in a spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. They're like my favorite thing ever. So basically what it is, I usually start the unit with one I knew they were going to do well on. So this is not tested, which is why there's no test grade there. But so this is each student's score on that quick quiz. And you can see as it goes through, I love color coding and like, all that stuff is so awesome. And so I would highlight anything that wasn't meeting my mastery level. So for me that's 80%. If it wasn't at 80%, then if it was 80% or higher, it highlighted green. If it was for like algebra, I would do 55% because that's technically bouncing as well. It would highlight yellow, and if it was below that, it would highlight red. So I look at my quick quiz. I have the topic down here. So this is supplementary and complementary angles, vertical adjacent, and some other stuff. I can't read it right now. Then this is translations, dilations, reflections, and rotations. Yeah. And so I can see now, okay, well, my average on this one was a 42%, and my average over here was a 49%. So clearly, when we go to review for the test, these are the spots that the kids are going to be focusing on to raise their grade. So this just gave me a ton of really useful data. before I was kind of like, how do I focus my review? I think that kind of went well in class, but once I started doing this, I knew exactly how I had to focus that review. So down here, I do my partial credit for my test, right? And this is a big old test, right? 30 questions on there. They didn't like it, but whatever. And so I put all the points that they earned for every single question. And this was real fast. You know, I defaulted them all to 4. I think there were 4 points per question. And then just when they missed them, I would, write, okay, they got 0 points for that question, 0 point there, 1 point there. And then it would, put their Jeopardy bonus down here. And it just calculates everything for me. So I don't even have to, it's awesome. So yeah, I put all their points in. And then what it does is it goes back up here to the test columns. And it has a formula calculating a new score based on the corresponding parts. So say that 1, 4, 7, and 14 were all questions about supplementary and complementary angles. I'm not saying they are because I don't remember. Then it would calculate that new quiz score as, it would calculate it up here in the supplementary and complementary angles column. So, what that let me do is I could then see for each one, did they improve? And you can see just by looking at the colors, for the most part, kids did improve. So this one, they maintained, got a little bit better. We didn't focus too much on that because they did so well originally. But then here, they definitely improved. We definitely improved here. Rotations, we didn't have time to quick quiz on it. But then what it did, I used their original quick quizzes to do a test prediction, and then we get their actual test score right here. So this, for me, this is my most important column because of all these topics that we just talked about, this clearly went up. This is really cool for me. So my whole thing is growth. I want to see grow. So if they did really poorly, they had a retake opportunity. The retake opportunities, they went through and found how many from each quick quiz they missed, and then they could select which chunks they wanted to retake. So they were able to ask lots of questions, and any questions they wanted. They had one night to go home and study. I gave them the retake the next day in class. It was full replacement, so I just went back and I think the retake was like, if they retook the rotations one, whatever the rotations questions were, I just replaced the grade in this chunk down here, recalculated for me up there. So this was awesome. I let all my classes vote on it. They all unanimously voted that they wanted to do this. They would take the quiz and they'd write me little notes on it. It's like, I'm really confused about this one little rule. For me, that's what I did it for. When they tell me, I'm really confused about this one thing, that's valuable feedback for me. And from there, I'm able to say, okay, well, here's a little note. Or, hey, come see me during lunch and we'll talk about this. It gives me that opportunity to correct any of those misconceptions and just really use their assessment for learning.